Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps?
What kind of music do you?
It's time to put them on, because the conversation
No,
starts
probably not. I like to do since I learned how I played the piano since I was 5. So, but what I like to do since I learned how to program the music, and now with the AI doing the music, because I know I hear the music in my head, and when you have a program, you can get it out because I'm not a good of a piano player. I mean, I'm not a classical pianist, but I'm good. I hear the music, so I love to create music, and I'm very much into tech, trance, world music like that.
Okay, all right.
My
So
thing.
do you use a synthesizer and all that good stuff, or do you just
Yeah, but I need actually I have to build. I need to build a studio. I need to have a different computer, and so that's on a hold. So this is just sometimes for fun, but I get stuck for hours.
Okay, all right. We'll get stuck.
Yeah.
Well, let's get stuck with AI brains. I need you to meet somebody. Okay, this is my true somebody right here. Welcome to On the Edge. You're back at the place where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, the responses are never dull. This is just spare the moment organic, but I had to catch her when I can. Brains, this is Birgitta Granstrom. She is the founder of the Life Spider System. She is the creator of the Weird Ones on LinkedIn. And she is a AI mastermind. That's what I can say. I've worked with Birgitta through the Life Spider System, and that's other episodes, and I'll be sure to share that with you. But when she told me, she says, I'm taking it to a whole nother realm, April. She says, I'm going to the outer limits. I'm going to dive deep into this artificial intelligence. And I'm like, really? And I really got nervous because I was like, oh my God, what is she going to uncover and discover?
I guess, yeah.
You know, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence because so many of us are intimidated by it. You don't understand what it is, don't understand how to use it, don't know understand how to capitalize on it. And it's just like I remember when the internet first came on and Facebook. My mother swore it was the devil. And she's right, it was devilish. But could you imagine where we could have been or where we would have been during the pandemic if we did not have social media and a way to connect? So Brigitte is going to talk to us about artificial intelligence. In addition to that, how it can also help us and help individuals that are struggling with mental health. So let's welcome her back to the show for like the umpteenth time. I love it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Welcome to Back on the Edge. How are you, Brigitte?
I am absolutely fantastic, and I am so happy to be back and proud that you want to have me back. And I enjoy this journey of new stuff that's showing up. So you have to have me on your show. So you are so receptive of everything that's going on, and I love that. So I adore you, April. I do.
Well, you know, I'm receptive, but also I'm curious, and sometimes I'm a little apprehensive because I'm like, really? But I'm telling you, what I uncover and discover is it's life-changing. And you have, again, too, we're giving each other our flowers, but working with you has really enhanced the quality of my life, my thinking, my progression, and my curiosity. So I thank you for that. So tell my brains a little bit about you, how you show up in the world, and how AI found you.
Okay, so I have, as you can hear, I am from Sweden, but I've been in the US and California for 15 years, just moved to Oregon, and I have my background is from the law student. I went to become an entrepreneur. So I run a bunch of call centers, and then I started the first coach training institute back in Sweden, the ICF accredited. And since I am a weird one too, I always am in the future, and I can see what the future holds. I can see what's coming. And yeah, I rarely get praised for my how I see things. So that has been a struggle, and that's why I've been moving on the entire time. And I guess that was the reason why I started to live as a digital nomad. Woke up one morning in San Diego and thought California was a good place to be at. And during my travel, I developed the discovery of life body system, that actually it is a new psychology. And now it has almost 15 years since I launched it and had my first client. And now the time start to be ready for the things that we can uncover with help on the life body system. And for the last years, I have building a community with I call the weird ones. And the weird ones are people who are highly intelligent, the smart ones, the creative ones, the ones who can see the future, innovators and trailblazers, and would have different kind of labels. So I bunch them up on to the weird ones. And just so you know, their audience, the word weird, if you check on the dictionary, it means have power to control destiny.
So
So sometimes
careful
when,
when when we're calling a particular person
yeah,
weird, know what you're talking about.
yeah, exactly, because that's the best praise you can get to be called a weird one, because that means that your brain is works differently and you are above the average, and you see things that other people can't see.
Mm.
And you have a deep, I think that's one that's driven me a lot, is that you have a deep desire to help and move humanity forward. It's kind of ingrained in our DNA. And sometimes that's hard because you are so project based on what you're doing because you want to find solutions.
So
So,
again, I'm just going to throw this in there. When people call Donald Trump weird, uh,
yeah,
he is weird. Okay. But again, if you listen to the definition, you can
yeah,
apply that. It may not be in
yeah,
the context and it may not
hmm,
be favorable to your appetite, but it is
yeah,
still a delectable meal. And it is still information that can be processed to control, to manipulate, to understand, to see
mhm,
things in a totally different way.
yeah.
So be careful when you use that word. I kind of like it.
I
All
think
right.
so. That's good. Yeah.
So now, again, I talk to her about this all the time. She lives pretty much as a nomad, uh, and she loves it. She lives among animals, and her animals absolutely love her. But
Hmm.
when she engages and interacts with you on, it's not even it's a soul level. It is an energetic level. It's from another scene, brains. I can't even explain it to you. um, what I have learned about myself and my intentions and my driving forces, what encouraged me, what motivates me, and how I can engage, how I can adjust my ego. I call her
Hmm.
my ego coach because the ego, as she has taught me, needs to be fed.
Yeah.
If there's a person in the room that is super quiet, give them an opportunity to shine. If there's a person that's super aggressive, let them have that aggression. If there's a person that is introverted, allow that introversion to happen, because if you don't, you will suppress it. And then when it goes off, it's like a can or a
Yeah.
cannon, it's going to explode.
Mm.
If you feed that, if you learn how to work it and manipulate it, you're ahead of the game. I mean, I can go into a room now, it could be 20 people, and I can detect and determine what each person needs, and I can feed that. But when I feed that, I'm also feeding my ego, but I'm also supporting the better good of the entire group because I'm allowing people to be who they are and to bring out their creative energy.
Yeah.
With all that said, you started getting um, fascinated by artificial intelligence. Number one, define artificial intelligence for us.
Oh, that's let's see, there are so many different levels, and AI per se has been on the planet for a very long time, long before I knew it, and there are so many things that has been uh, this artificial intelligence, but it wasn't until the ChatGPT launched that we others most of the people started to get aware of the artificial intelligence. And with ChatGPT back in, now it's 2 years or something like that, in
Yeah.
December
Didn't it start
2023.
though maybe back a little further with like Siri?
Yes, exactly. And other writing apps. You had Grammarly for you who was writing. That's an AI product. So we have used the AI in different ways. And I don't know everything about that. So I know people who has been a professional in the AI and probably in healthcare and in different systems. So it has been with us longer than we think. And I admit I don't really have the entire history of the AI, but so it's actually not new, but in the way it's developed right now, and with those what we call the LLM, the large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, and those, it has been available for the big masses. And that's what changed so many people's life. And plus those image generator in the design and like Midjourney. I'm a Midjourney fan, so I actually started my artificial intelligence with the design, even if I'm not a designer, because I was hooked on it, and then you start to learn, and it's a different kind of language. So I think for the most people, it's the LLM models and the image generators that affect their lives the most. Yeah.
Now, so many people are intimidated. The first thing they say is, oh my God, it's going to, it's going to take over our lives. Well, brains, it's already in the driver's seat. You've got Elon Musk with these cars. You've got
Mhm.
him going into space. I've got a friend that her refrigerator talks to her. Now, that's a little bit too much for me. But again, low on milk. The temperature's not right. Or I need to
Mm.
change my bulb or all these things. You've got Siri.
Yeah,
Uh,
Alexa. Yeah.
yeah, Alexa,
Mm.
and turning on your music for you, turning on the lights, security system, directing you, navigating your car.
Mm.
So it is more than just a voice. Tell us a little bit about how it works.
You mean technically?
Yeah, kind of technically, not just kind of a broad base. So people put in these prompts,
Yeah.
and it's a
Oh,
database that is stored with, these
okay. So
questions
now,
and
okay,
answers.
okay, now I understand your question. So you can see on if we talk about ChatGPT, where I know the most, it's kind of a second brain where that has access to all information there is in the world. So all the information is in this brain, and the thing is that we know with the prompt, and you ask the questions, you ask them the model to do something for you or present an information, so it has access to all the information there is. It's like we as a human being, our brain is just working. We can give them a certain keywords and we can access some of the archive of the information, but we can rarely get to the unconscious level of the knowledge we have. We can train ourselves, we can prompt ourselves to be better. But that's actually just to compare it like a huge brain, and it's up to each individual. How do you take advantage of those possibilities in any profession? And I remember from the in the beginning 2 years back when I was really an early adapter, and in my profession in the coaching and the mental health industry. And I saw immediately, okay, here we have another level of coaching. And I didn't know how it would work, but I could see the possibilities. And no one else, they just deny it. They really said, okay, no, it can never come into the coaching world. It needs to be human to human. And no, it does not. So it's up to each and everyone to ask, okay, how can I use this in my life, in my work, in my family? And the ones who do, those are the ones who will move forward and take the lead where the AI will bring us.
But how did all of this stuff get into it? This is a supercomputer, okay?
Yes.
And we call it
Yeah.
super brain. But you say
Yes.
all the information in the world. So
Yeah.
all of the information that are, that we used to use encyclopedias, yes, brains, I'm dating myself. Or all of the Google questions that we ask, or all of the
Yes.
mathematical equations, or all
Mm.
of the physics or metaphysics, religious doctrine.
Mm.
Someone is pouring this information into this super brain. And
Yes.
brains, when you use Chat GPT, use it wisely. Have a conversation with it. Don't just say, write me a report. Write me
No.
a report based upon these parameters, blah, 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 blah. And you would be surprised at how in depth. And it will ask you, do you need more information about a certain subject? You can go a little bit deeper. Do you need less? And I always say thank you at the end. And it'll say, you're welcome, April. And it scares me to death.
No.
Okay. But that's one component. I have
Mhm.
another guest that was on my show that talks about the psychological and emotional component. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so the thing with those LLM is that they are reading patterns. They can recognize patterns and they can express that you as a human being can experience that they deliver an emotions, but it's just logical, it's just information, and it just objectively, so it doesn't has an emotion, but the things, and especially in the mental health and in the coaching world, it doesn't matter. So ChatGPT, for example, can act as the best educated coach in the world because it can ask question and respond and follow up question without any kind of judgment, values, or wishes for the client, which is the core in coaching, which the most coaches is not capable of doing. So, and the important thing that you have to leave behind as a human being is that you don't to improve yourself, you don't need someone who really understands you emotionally. You need that model needs to make you feel understood. And that's two different things. So
Mm,
when you feel understood, and that's what you say when you have a conversation with ChatGPT and you say, thank you, welcome, and oh, you feel happy, and that's okay. Why do you have to care if that thing understands you or not? Most of the time, people are actually not interested in how you feel as a communicator. They just, how am I feeling?
mm,
And that's,
right.
if we use that, there is so many possibilities, and especially in the mental health world that we really need, especially here in the States and in the US right now, because you can prompt an LLM to be exactly how, depending on the issue or state of the target group you are working with, you can decide how you will the approach to be.
Give us an example.
Um, for example, I have my own weird navigator. I haven't given it to you, and that's I have
I'm looking
prompted.
forward to it.
Yeah. No, I will give it to. So I have uploaded everything I have on the life spiderology, the way how we are seeing, for example, how we are looking at the ego. Because for in the life spider system, in Life Spider Academy, we see ego as a positive thing. It's something of your personality that you should embrace. You should be proud of it. But if you go to ChatGPT and without my prompt and start to talk about the ego, you will get a warning. You will see that the old belief system of that the ego is something bad that we should get rid of is programmed in that models. So I think, and when you give it instructions on, or the ego is good, this is your approach, you have an education as a master coach and you behave like this, and then you get the response that you want. So I can, you as a life spider, you have your life spider, I will give you the link to the weird navigator, and I can trust that the weird navigator will take care of you if you start to talking about the ego. I would never ask you as my client to talk to ChatGPT about your ego, because I know the old belief system is there, and that will
Right.
be destroy you more than empowering you, if
So
that
when you
makes
say a prompt, that's a set of questions, that is a parameter. What do you
instructions. I would call it instructions. It's instructions. And I also would say in the instruction in the coaching world and the therapies and mental health world, you also have kind of an security protocol to just check out if someone is too uh, mental illness, for example, and you get a warning sign, and so you stop communicate and give them advice to go and seek the professional help.
Right. Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
if you're saying that, you're really considering maybe self-harm.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to give them what is the signs of the harm, but that's also in the Weir Navigator, the level of, because in ChatGPT, for example, maybe if you say, "Oh, I'm so sad, I'm depressed, I don't want to live," immediately say, "Oh, you should go and seek help." But in the Weir Navigator, you start because it's okay to be depressed. That doesn't necessarily means harm, and you shouldn't abandon a person who actually wants to help but need to express their sadness. So that's also different. Can adapt your own GPTs to the clients you have.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the program that you have is
Yeah.
customizable based upon the coach or the facilitator.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm saying I give it a set of prompts or a set of questions. The answers cannot be generic because it's very individualized. Now, you
Yes.
may have certain parameters for someone that is depressed. You
Yes.
may have some person that's anxiety. You may
Yeah.
have someone that has, ADHD, because
Yeah.
that's very common now. A lot of adults are finding that they have that. Or
Yes.
there could be a whole host of other mental illnesses or mental challenges. So you
Mm.
go in and you say, based upon my level of experience or my education, blah, 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 or what I've dealt with people, this could possibly be a diagnosis. No?
It can be can you repeat? I missed your what
Okay.
you say in the end. If it
So,
can be a diagnosis
right.
or
So you're
yes.
dealing with a client. You're
Okay.
dealing with
Yeah.
a potential client, a coaching client.
Mm.
And you have your own set of parameters that you customize.
Yes.
And
Yes.
based upon XYZ,
Mm.
this could lead to a certain diagnosis.
Yeah.
Once you get to that diagnosis, then you have to do a deeper dive to help that person individually, because you're going to have to customize
Yeah.
their treatment, their communication style, maybe a wellness packet based upon individuals. I don't understand how it can be a collective. And is my question clear?
Yes, and I say, I mean, the thing is, as long as you have the model to ask you questions and you build the next question. So the basic safety in coaching is to use questions that just contains 5 words. One of the word is the last word one of the words you have told a coach for the final, because then you hooked in what is it that person want to talk about. And as long as you just say to clean, pure questions, it's individualized.
Okay.
But as long as if you give any advice, if you give any encouragement, you should do this or choices, then you are lost. So the thing is that the model needs to be prompted to ask your questions and encourage you in the right way, but never end the conversation without a question, because then it's the client or the you who using the model who decide where to go. And that's the thing. That's how the dream about the coaching world should work with the coach, but it's not. So that's why I think a robot coach could be a much better coach than an average coach out there, because it's individualized, because it asks questions.
Okay. So you are asking clean questions,
Yes.
clean prompts, and it
Yes.
will give you a finite answer. So based upon,
No. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
will it
Uh,
give you a definite answer, or it can give you options, choices, and it could be ambiguous because you're still asking a question, but is that question an open-ended question?
no, it should be an open-ended question. So you deliver, because as a coach, you are supposed to make your client to think,
Right.
to deliver the answers, and that's the thing. And then you can, as a model, give them suggestions and ask, okay, which of those suggestions appeals to you the most? Which, if you have to pick one of those, and then you can move on from there. So it's also how do you always give the client an option where to go. So it's not the most people use the LLM models to look for answers, but that's so much more. And that's why uh, you, if you're not asking questions, you say about this, the hallucination and the models make up answers. Yes, if you keep on asking stupid questions that you have no idea on where you want to go. So
Right.
to use an LLM model, you need to know where you are at.
Tell
So
me,
otherwise,
explain LLM again. What does that stand for?
large language model, that's ChatGPT cloud, when you have the conversation.
Okay.
You have a conversation. Yeah.
So you're having a conversation. Okay. So you're saying, uh, as an example, brains, check this out. I am currently crying a lot. I am not sleeping. My heart is beating fast. What could this possibly be?
Hmm.
Could that be a
Okay.
question?
It could, I mean, the people will probably ask it, and I would say, okay, I will give them something to download. I am sorry to hear, and I'm here to help. So let's see where to start. What is the reason that you are crying? What do you think is the reason you are crying?
Uh,
What kind of help are you looking for right now?
I'm looking to stop crying. I'm looking to gain better relationships. I'm looking to stop the pain.
Okay. So which is the most important you? Is it the pain? Is it the relationship, or is it the crying?
It's the pain.
It's the pain. Okay. So what is the pain about?
I think I feel the pain because I don't feel attractive. I'm overweight. Uh, I'm not being taken seriously.
Okay. So which of those three, the overweight, the pain, don't be he now I remember, sorry.
Right.
Yeah. The
Okay.
model was that which one of those feels are the most painful?
I think the fact that I don't uh, feel attractive, I don't look attractive. I think that there is a self-esteem issue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how is self-esteem and attractiveness connected?
It's based upon outside influences. It's
Mm-hmm.
based upon what other people say or think. It is maybe a reflection of how I care and love for myself
Mm. So how do you love yourself?
by eating, by crying,
Mm-hmm.
by sitting in pain.
So eating and crying, is that self-love?
No,
So what is self-love?
protection, awareness, clarity, um, positivity.
Mhm. So which of those you mentioned right now do you do to yourself?
I don't do any of those things to myself because
Mm,
I am sitting in a place of shame.
okay. So is there any of this, which one of those protection, and then you mentioned four more as a LLM model, I would remember that. So which of those would you wish the most that you had for yourself?
More self esteem, care more for myself,
Okay. So how can you care more about yourself today?
stay in gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, look at self respect,
Okay.
try to be happy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that sounds good. So how do you feel when you have self-respect?
Powerful,
Mm-hmm.
control, worthy. Now, Brain, we're role playing here, okay?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay,
know.
so just, I know you guys are all into this, right? Yeah, but we're role playing, but this is pretty much how it works.
Yes, exactly. So they are pure, and I'm not perfect because, and that's the thing. You could hear now if I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't mental, really focused on to do this, and that means when you don't hear, for example, when you gave me all those examples, I didn't have it in my mind. But as a LLM, they can repeat it and say which one or bum 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 bum, and you can read your and even hear your own words again, and that's what's powerful.
Right, because again, when you are dealing with an emotional human being, sometimes their emotions are convoluted with yours. They
Yes.
relate to you in a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, okay, well, I felt unworthy before, and this is how I felt. Or I can relate to this, or I understand that. But when you're using an LLM model, it's fact based. Okay, this
Yes.
is your particular
Yeah.
circumstance that I am regurgitating back to you to handle your specific issue. Am I getting
Yes.
that?
Absolutely. And that's the thing because it gets pure. It's not, it's absolutely clarity. There is no biases. There is no, because as a human being, we are so used to please others that we even want to do our coach a favor. We try to behave, how we respond. We hide certain things that we want to say to a human being because we maybe you use the ashamed of things. When you have as the computer and you can open up and be more honest. And the more honest you are from the beginning, the faster you can come into a conclusion. So it is to have this, as long as we embrace the humanity we have uh, as a human being with emotions and all the package, what it means to be a human, we also have to realize there are so many patterns. We are so predictable. I mean, we are small robots. And if we treat our emotional system as it defected, it is because we are suppressed our ego. If we start to respect our emotions for just for what they are and don't add any value to it as good or bad, you should, you shouldn't, you get to solutions so much faster. Because I am sure there are so many people who have in mental health problem just because they are not allowed to be themselves. They are ashamed about themselves. They have self-hate and things like that, just because they are not allowed to express who they are, because they are told to be something else.
Then this is another one. People are into this emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does this, because you have to deal with your emotions. We are emotional beings.
Yes.
We cannot extract that. And that is what people that I've been talking to are really trying to put that behavioral model into artificial intelligence. This
Yeah.
is where it gets scary. This is where people are able to detect your behavior. Okay, I'm listening to my favorite stock show, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
really listening to, AI because it's going to need speed, it's going to need capacity, but it's also going to look more at your behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I pay my bills on the 5th of every month, and I pay a certain amount, and I feel a certain kind of way when my balance gets too low, or
Mm-hmm.
I am hiding money, or I am feeling bad or depressed because, or ashamed because I'm not able to be honest with my partner about all the shoes I'm buying, or, my addiction issues, all those kind of things. So when it starts dealing with the emotion and the psyche of the human being, eh, it, to me, you're dealing in treacherous waters.
Yeah, and yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I told you it can go really wrong, and that's why the only really safe, secure spot or space we have is your inner self. And that's why it's even more important than each individuals get strong with an integrity and not rely on other people's, that we can leave the old belief system that you are not worthy, that you are not having you shouldn't have your ego expression. We need to change the belief system. We cannot chase and try to regulate what's coming with the AI, because as you said, of course you can read the behavior, because we are predictable human being. In certain behaviors we react like this, and Angus can express like this. I mean, you can make a matrix of all the behaviors, and there you have the solution, and AI is capable of doing that. So
Okay, so now we're in this quandary. We're in this matrix of hatred right now. We have fallen from grace. People are so divided.
yes,
What I have understood and what I am seeing very clearly is that reality is no longer reality. Reality is an interpretation of perception, is
yeah,
what you perceive reality to be. If someone continuously ingrains something into you, that
yes,
becomes your reality.
yes,
Use, for example, someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia. My mother, bless her heart, she was always visited by this young girl. And the young girl had pretty lace socks and patent leather shoes. And she would have a conversation. And I came to the point where instead of me being combative and trying to bring her to my reality,
yeah,
I had to jump into the perception of what her reality was because she
yeah,
was there.
yes,
She was living that experience. And that
yes,
is what's happening now, I see, as we are moving into the fifth dimension.
yeah,
That, again, you are being bombarded with ads and propaganda and lies.
yeah,
It's clear in your face that it is a lie, but
yes,
you want so bad to be right
mm-hmm.
that you will alter the perception of the truth
Yes,
to fit into this certain paradigm.
yes,
That's scary, brains. That's scary. And when you're dealing in an LLM model,
yeah,
you're dealing with facts. You're a
yeah.
scientist at that point. Scientists deal with facts, they don't deal with speculation.
But I think the one thing to be aware of, we are dealing with fact, but we also need to be aware of, and I think this is the critical thing, and that's why I have created my own GPT, because it's programmed with fact that's based on our existing belief system. And that's how we exactly, how do we interpret the world, and that's how we live. So I think it's probably impossible to not have some kind of belief system, but what's happened right now is that old belief system is not working anymore, because it's built on the old perception of the world. And as you said, we are moving into a new era of the world, and that's why we have to be objective and be aware of their belief system. So when we ask an ChatGPT or Claude or something a question, we have to be aware of the belief system. And I can see it immediately because that's my profession. And I have been, how can we get around and take the back door from the belief system we have? And for example, we have this with the ego is one. That's a belief system. So when you ask any model about the ego and you say, I am the head, oh, that's not good. You are not supposed to. You have to be careful if you want to have power. You cannot be a dictator, blah, blah. And it will warn you, because that's what we do with the belief system. We tell you it's ugly to be like this. So the only thing, the most important things now is that anyone who can help any person to be use the brain and be have a critical thinking, to question their own belief system, sit down and think, okay, what do I really believe and why is it? Have someone who can watch watch and listen to different kind of news, and even actively listen to things that you don't believe in, just to check yourself.
Right,
So
right. And
yeah,
a lot of times, brains, we have been programmed. We're
yes,
programmed and
yeah,
we've been
absolutely.
brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
We've been brainwashed.
Yes,
because
we
I
are.
don't care, you can get mad at me if you're not. Religion is a form of brainwash.
It is.
It was designed to keep you in line, under
Yes.
control,
Yes.
under a religious doctrine.
Hmm.
If you look, there are certain rules. Don't dress a certain way. Don't say a certain thing. Women
Hmm.
can't do this. Men can't do this. You've got to pray a certain amount of time. You can't eat this. You can't do that. It's all a form of keeping you under control.
Yes.
And then when people are disenchanted or they are excommunicated from these religions or they are shunned by their family and other believers, it's a shock. Oh my
Yes.
God. What do they say? I always believed.
Yeah.
I was taught to believe.
Yeah.
I grew up believing. You have to look at those things that we believe
Yeah.
to be
But
true because that is a perception and it is a programming.
yeah.
You have to be able to be a critical thinker and question, go against the grain. This does not make sense to me. This does not taste good to my palate. This is wrong. This doesn't feel good to my soul.
Exactly.
Birgitta likes one thing. She's got
Yeah.
blonde hair. I've got brown hair. This is what we like. Allow that space and that capacity for us to be able to move to the next dimension because the next dimension is not limited
No. And it's
like
just
we
not.
are here.
No, and it's not judgmental of good and bad, so that will disappear. And it's also to believe, we are moving from believing to knowing. And it's also to have this learning to listen to your own, because when you know something is right for you, it's right. And you don't believe, because any kind of beliefs includes an uncertainty. And that's exactly what you
Right.
said. That's why you have to put rules and regulation to keep people in the box to believe. And if we let go of beliefs and just rely on knowing, then we can have more peace. But it's a long way, and we have some ego issues to work with, but it's possible. It's absolutely possible. And AI can help us to be more objective beings, and we can learn. And there are certain people who are more to have this capacity to be a leader, to have this natural. And that's why I add so put my so effort in the weird ones, because they are natural leader. They have an open soul from birth, so it's easier for them to not get stuck in a belief system. That doesn't mean that everyone that they don't have a belief system, but they can accept other kinds of belief systems. So next step will be, we can see different, for you said, different religions, for example. We can say, I don't agree, I don't want to do that, I don't want to have coffee, I like tea, and that's okay. And don't have the urge to change someone else's belief system, because that's what's going so wrong, that we decide what they are doing over there is wrong. We need to fix it. And that's why it's the most dangerous thing we have right now. And that's
That's
also,
why this is why they use the word robot, because you become mechanical. You become universal, one love,
mm,
universal, one love.
yeah,
It's not all of this different division. I look at now how the pronouns, them,
mm-hmm,
they,
yeah,
uh, her, him, or she, we. I don't get it right, so forgive me. I'm not being disrespectful. But even with that, to me, that is not inclusive. That is another way
no,
to separate. That,
exactly.
that is
That's,
another way to exclude into another category,
yeah,
non-binary. That
exactly.
is inclusive.
It's no, it has the opposite effect. Each label divide people more, instead of be whatever you are, you don't need. And that's also back again. The individual integrity makes you should make be so strong that you don't need a label of
Right,
who you are.
right,
Because if the feeling is I am this, I don't need a label.
right.
It's just
But
insecurity that you need, and you need respect, and you need to be confirmed. You need to be understood, absolutely. But the external labels will not help you. You need to go with that confirmation from the inside out.
Right.
And
But then people will say, well, I don't see color. That burns me up.
yeah,
and the reason why I say that is because I
Yeah.
am different. I'm a
yes,
Black American woman versus a white Swedish woman.
yeah,
Okay?
exactly. Yeah,
There is a difference there, but at the basic core,
yeah,
we are a human being.
yeah,
There's no race. We are the human race.
yeah.
And when it
And
comes down to it, we are all flesh, bone. I mean, I was talking to someone that did transplants.
yeah,
A liver is a liver, a heart is a heart.
mm-hmm,
But if you look down at the nucleus, there
mm-hmm,
is a difference in the DNA.
mm-hmm.
So there's still going to be a
Yeah,
struggle there, Brigitta. I still believe that there's going to be some sort of conflict, and
yes.
it is going to take us a lot.
Mm-hmm,
And I
mm,
believe that we are going through this systematic change and
yes,
hostility and anger to
yeah,
separate the wheat from the straw.
yes, yeah.
Are you going to be able to handle the next level of consciousness? It's not
Exactly.
about mindset. Mindset is so old.
It
It's about,
is.
everybody's about mindset.
Oh
Y'all got
no,
the
you are
program.
too late to the party. Too
That's
late to the
right.
party.
That's
Yeah.
right. Tell them. It is about consciousness. It's about being aware. And it's
Yeah.
about this thing called karma. Karma is not here to punish you.
No.
Karma is here to teach you. Another thing you taught me is about the word trust.
Mm-hmm.
Trust is conditional.
Yes.
I trust you. See, I'm a good student. I
You are.
trust you if you do XYZ.
Yeah.
But if you fall short of that, there's no trust there. And
No.
you have to do XYZ to reestablish yourself to get more trust from me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if you are dealing with situations that are fact-based in the LLM model, it is what it is.
Yes. Exactly. And is it just to add this, when we love the differences and the different colors and races and language and countries and whatever. I mean, the all differences, we love that. And the problem now is that we will, so to say, see the colors, but there is no judgment of good and bad. So
Right.
that's the problem in our old belief system, is that we have been programmed to choose good or bad. There is nothing. And when that disappears, you can see and you can enjoy the differences without trying to convince someone to be something else, or be jealous because you wish you were black or wish you were white or something else. So it's
Right.
the judgment in the, so we don't want to be equal. We will be differences. I mean, we love that.
Right. It's like when you look into a garden and you
Yes.
see fields of flowers and you see
Mhm.
all the different colors
Yes.
and they all get along. And then when
Yeah.
the wind blows, they cross-pollinate,
Yes.
continue to bloom, and they smell and they live in harmony. There's no problem.
No,
But
exactly.
you get 4 or 5 different ethnicities in a room and they speak a different language, or they eat a different food, or one,
Yeah.
larger than the other, one has more money than the other. Then all of these emotional contracts
Yeah.
come into
Mm.
place,
Mm.
and these
Yeah.
beliefs and what you have been taught to believe.
Mm. Yeah.
You better get with the program. You best,
Yeah.
or what you say, you late to the party.
Yes, you are. Yeah, no, we are beyond this mindfulness. It's not helping anymore. You have to go deeper, and you have to see the capacity you have as a human being. Because and I think one thing that's happened that scares the of the establishment is that the AI give opportunities to those who has been so suppressed of seeing their own capacity and strength. So now they can compare if you are living there and have that kind of work, or if you are that and that with money or whatever, the differences will shrink. And that scares the shit out of the establishment, because they are still trying to hold on to the old belief
Right,
system and have the power. So
right.
we will have conflicts, but we are I love AI because it will the knowledge they can get access to knowledge and they can afford it and they can afford to have coaches, the mental health. But there is a teaching period now to help people to realize you can do this too. So it will be a competition on the belief systems top right now, and it will create conflicts.
Well, see,
So
what people are so worried about, number one, is the money grab.
yeah,
But it's not about money.
no, no.
Money only has the power that you give it. You can only position it the way that you need. I mean, I look again at Brigitta. Praise, if you could have seen some of the places that she's lived, they've been unbelievable, you know.
Mhm.
And again, she lives there with the animals. I tell her, you gonna come out and deal with the people? She says, yeah, I'll deal with them online and then I'll go back and be with. But this is where she's happy. Me, I'm a social butterfly.
Yeah.
I'm,
Hmm.
I'm I'm pretty much, you know, a homebody. But when I get out there, I need to work the room. I need to be because that's what makes me home. And
Yes.
so you
Mhm.
have to figure out what lane you are in, brains.
Eh,
Where do you want to be?
yes.
People say, oh, well, you know, AI is going to take my job. If you are smart
Yeah.
and you structure yourself, learn
Mhm.
about it,
Yes.
incorporate it in your
Yes.
life, and
Yes.
build from the foundation, baby, you ain't going to need no job.
Yeah. And now also don't believe in, I mean, from the beginning, I talk about prompt engineers, exactly, exactly. So I think go back to where you started. Realize you can have a conversation. Just be you and talk to it, whatever it is. And you, if you don't know, you can even start a conversation. I want to use you, but I don't know how to start. Can you help me?
Right.
How can I use you? How can I'm doing this? You can just, you have the best mentor, coach, whatever, who is there for you. So it make it easy. I mean, you can be super pro, you can, I mean, the advancement and the different dimensions you can go through, but to begin, just begin by being you and
But
type and ask. Yes.
but in doing that also too, you have to be willing to embrace it and not be afraid of it.
Oh,
And
yes.
it can be addicting. I mean, look at us on social media. You
Yeah.
don't even go to the throne without your phone. Oh,
Mm.
okay, I'm sitting here, I'm having
But
a bowel movement, and
I,
let me scroll through here and see what's going on. You know, you got your kid at the grocery store. The kid is not learning about the peaches and the pears and the different colors.
no.
No, they're watching some computerized
But
game.
do you know what? Here is the thing. The shift, and this is also will scare the establishment if they lose the addiction to the social media. Because if you start to use an LLM, you will be addicted to yourself
Mm,
because you realize that you can experience things about you, learn new things, you get better. You don't need the social media. You will pick and choose, and you will have your friends, but you will the scrolling will decrease. And all the big companies or whatever it is, they are death scares. So they try to get you dopamine addicted from scrolling. But you can have the same addiction if it's good or bad, I don't know. But it's healthier if you're addicted to yourself.
right, but then
Because
doesn't that make you more introverted and isolated? Because again,
not necessary. I mean, you still need a social life, and maybe it introverted, yes, maybe, but is it better to have a good relationship with yourself or have a scrolling relationship with TikTok?
mm,
What makes you most happy? I mean, and
right,
it's also a
and
human
it
thing.
is central. I mean, you know, it's opinions of other people, other people's
Yes.
beliefs.
Here you can find and discover your own opinions, and you can discover, oh shit, I know this. I can guess. I mean, you discover your competences, you increase your abilities, you learn new things. And with learning new things, you adapt to the AI world and you can see, okay, what kind of possibilities do I have? And I, who has been so early with the ChatGPT, I have seen careers being unfolding in certain areas that they didn't have before, who quit their old kind of job and they get a totally new career. But you need to be open and see there is no fear. Everything can be dangerous. Anything. I mean, poor Einstein, he just wanted to create energy and you created a bomb. I mean, that's with everything. All inventions can be used for good and bad, as the world we are living in right now. Which do you choose to use it for? And the more people we are that choose to use AI for the good, for the greater good, and for the humanity, the better. And that's each individual's choice. Don't trust that others are going to tell you what to do. Start to think for yourself and rely to this little inner voice you have, because that's your truth. And that's the only thing you can rely on. That's the only thing you know, this is my message. I will follow that message. So, and that's it, just possibilities. Yeah.
Well, Brains, there's endless possibilities. Brigitta, thank you so much.
Yes.
I could talk to you forever. And
Yes, we will
Brains,
talk more.
if you didn't get this, because it's heavy, if you didn't get it, rewind, listen to it over and over again. Go in, try some of the things that we suggested to you. It may not be your wheelhouse.
No.
And if it's not, we'll see you on the other side.
Yes.
Because we are not going to be late to the party. And
No.
it's not about our judgment, but it's
No.
about, again, consciousness. It's
Yeah.
about being aware of the here and now and disassociating yourself from the programs, from the old beliefs, from the religious texts that have been around thousands of years. We're going into a whole different place. We're going into the outer limits, Brains. You cannot continue to play small.
No. No. Exactly. Well said, April.
No.
And we are going to take you to the next level too.
Yeah, good. Well, Brains, Brigitta's going to tell you how to get more information with her, how to connect with the weird ones, how to do your own research and other programs. If you need her to come in and be a speaker, a teacher online, anywhere in the world, if you want more information and do a deep dive, please take the time to consult with her. Her fees are very affordable. For the information that you get, you cannot put a price tag on it. Believe and trust. And it is one of the best investments you will ever make in your life because it's a game changer. Trust me. We've been connecting now, years, but
Yes.
really done some intensive work for 2 or 3 years. And Brains, I don't let people pour into my psyche and my soul like that unless I find value. Please allow her to pour some value into you. Tell them
Yeah.
how to get in contact with you, Brigitte.
Okay, so I am here and you can send me, and I am mostly the social media. I am on LinkedIn and you'll find it on my name. Otherwise, go to livespideracademy.com to my website and contact me, send me an email or whatever, I respond. Or otherwise, if you miss this, contact April. She know where to find me. So I am here and I love conversation in any kind. And so if you have a questions, if you wonder of something, and I love that interaction because that's how we learn and move on. And I am excited to see progress and improvement, and that makes my soul and my ego ticking. So
wow. Okay,
thank you.
Brains, I love you from the bottom of my socks because my heart just isn't deep enough.
Oh.
And I would not give you this information and take the time to seek out the best and the brightest around the world if I didn't care about you. I want to see you on the other side. I already got my ticket. I'm not going to be late to the party. Thank you, Brigitte. You're the best.
Thank you, April. Thank you.
Bye, Brains.